Hey, Corky here, down in Alabama. Uh, Today I'm going to do a video uh, about the Mandolin family, and I am in the process right now of pioneering a mandolin ensemble in Hamilton, Alabama. It's called the Hamilton Mandolin Ensemble. And I wanted to just take a minute to introduce those of you that have never seen or heard these instruments. Obviously, you can get on YouTube and many other things and see everything, hear everything. But I wanted to share these with you myself because it's been a lot of fun exploring these new instruments. So they're new to me anyway. Um, the first one, obviously, is the mandolin. Now, this instrument is popular in different parts of the world. Um, we're going to be touring, doing concerts in Bulgaria coming up maybe a year from now. And the mandolin's very popular in Romania and Bulgaria. And we know it in the United States as a bluegrass instrument primarily, although it has been featured in jazz music, rock and roll, and folk. Anyway, the mandolin, it is the equivalent of the violin in the violin family. It has four strings that are the same pitch as a violin: G, D, A, and E, but it's fretted instrument. Uh, there are two strings of each, and that's what gives it its rich sound. Those of you that have played 12-string guitar know the effect. Mandolin, and of course, the most popular players of mandolin and bluegrass would be Bill Monroe in bluegrass, Jethro Burns in jazz, uh, and David Grisman in new acoustic music, So that's a mandolin, and you can get really high on it doing a lot of those, what we call tremolos, okay? Mandolin, that takes the place of the violin in an ensemble. The next one I'm going to show you is my favorite new one, which is, no, this one here. Oh, by the way, never lean a guitar or an instrument against the wall. I had to get after one of my boys for doing that because it'll slip down, it'll break it off the neck. I had that happen to an Ovation back in the 70s. Don't do that. Don't ever lean an instrument against the wall. Lay it down on a couch, put it in a case, put it in a stand, but don't ever prop it in a corner of a room, especially if there's no carpet. All right, this second one is my favorite new one, and I got inspired to learn this. This is what's called a mandola. This takes the place of the viola in the orchestra or the ensemble, and it has a rich tone. This instrument, the mandola, is in the mandolin ensemble um, uh, a fifth lower than the mandolin, so that you have to transpose when you're playing along with a mandolin player or any instrument. If you're playing guitar, if they're playing in C, you have to play in G on this. If they're playing in D, you have to play in A on this. So you always think about the fifth lower. So this one's got, I love the rich sound of this. Mandola. I'm still learning about, uh, where they fit in an arrangement, because I don't read standard notation. I read, tablature, and this is forcing me to learn, more classical approaches to stringed instruments, which the sitar really got me started on. I want to say a word about tuning, since I got the tuner here. This mandola is a C. Go C, G, D, and A. So with the strings being totally different than the mandolin, totally different than a guitar, you have a lot of chord inversions, which what I mean by that is the chords are turned upside down in the music, where a certain harmony that would be in the upper register goes to the lower register. And this is what provides so much richness in this music. I got inspired on the mandola also by the singer Donovan. You may remember him, Sunshine Superman, Atlantis, Hurdy-Gurdy Man, Call Me Mellow Yellow. He was in the folk movement, and he played a mandola in concert. So, and he was also in India with the Beatles. So I got inspired a lot by him. So that's a mandola. It takes the role of the viola in the mandolin ensemble, or the ensemble. Okay, this is a cool one. The only reason I can show you this is my buddy Danny left it over here this week because he went out of town, and we thought we were going to be playing a fall festival. So this is called an octave mandolin. Okay, so this is really low. So the octave mandolin is exactly an octave lower than the mandolin. So it's like the mandolin. It's G, and there's two of each. It's D, two of each. A, two of each, and then two of each on the E. Isn't that pretty? Octave mandolin. Just a word about tuning, because we're having to tune like crazy. Not as much as I do in Indian classical music with the sitar, but in tuning. A little tip that we learned from Danny Gatton, a great twang player, Washington, D.C. When you're tuning, whether you're using a quartz tuner or a digital tuner or whatever you're using, always go under and come up to the note. Never go straight down to it. Like if you pick up your instrument and if it's been sitting a few days, it will always be sharp when you come back. It's a weird thing. I would think that if the instrument was left laying around, that it would get looser. Strings would get looser as it lays around, but it does. It contracts, gets tighter. So when you pick up your instrument, you're almost always going to be sharp of the tuning. So what you need to do is always, even if it's above, you don't go straight down to the note that and matching straight down. You go under and come back up to it. Because if you go straight down to it, like you tune from a sharp down to the note, then the first time that you press on the frets, it's going to go out of tune. And I didn't learn that. It was decades before I learned that in guitar playing. So just a tuning tip there. So there you have it. There's the Mandolin Family. Also, many mandolin ensembles include a mandocello, which is beautiful instrument, but in my experience, way expensive. And then some even have a mando bass, which is just about as big as a Corvette. So I hope you've enjoyed being introduced to the sounds of these instruments, because we sure are enjoying learning to play them. And I hope you'll get to come to one of our shows sometime soon, the Hamilton Mandolin Ensemble. This is Corky saying sayonara, baby.